Brittany. I'm a self-love coach, self-care connoisseur, and supplement enthusiast. This podcast is all about taking your power back in your own life by creating a killer self-care routine and discovering a love for all parts of you. Mind, body, and soul. Being a mom is fucking hard, and that's not even including the mental roller coaster you go on to discover who you are as a person again. I'm here to help you regain your confidence and stop putting yourself on the back burner. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to this. Hi. It has been a roller coaster of a year for me, but 2024 is coming to a close, and I'm so excited to help you make the most of 2025. The next episode will be insane and exciting and ready to dive into what the new year could look like. We're still posting, even though next week is Christmas. But this week, I really want to discuss postpartum. I am now a little over 3 months postpartum. With my first, I didn't really get over that new feeling of becoming a mom until I was probably 6 months postpartum. And I honestly didn't feel like my true self again until she was probably 3 to 5 years old. In between there somewhere, I found my way again. But it takes time for your mind and your body to heal from something so insane. It's a new phase in your life, whether you're starting out as just becoming a mom or this is your 5th kid. You are trying to find the ropes and navigate this new life of yours and your family's. Now, I only have the 2, but this has been night and day difference between my first and my second. My mental health is so much better and my physical body is so much stronger, and it's all because of the way that I went about it through pregnancy. Before I got pregnant, I was in the gym a lot. I focused on my mental health and my inner healing, and honestly, I think that's what really did it for me. That's what made this experience so much easier, so much of a better transition. Now, don't get me wrong, there were obviously bumps and some crazy times in this phase of my life, but overall, it was so much smoother than I had experienced with my first. And I do understand that everybody's journey, everybody's view, everybody's experience of postpartum, how much support they do or they don't have, really can affect this. But I am here to help you as much as I can and be a little bit of that support for you. So for the women that are about to give birth or are pregnant and are looking to make their lives just a little bit easier postpartum, this episode is for you. 3 things that I had focused on. I love 3s. I don't know why. It's like a thing for me. 3 things that I had focused on when trying to figure out what could I do to prepare as much as possible to have my baby and enter this new phase in my life. Well, I was probably going to be really tired, lack of sleep. With newborns, it's just a thing. And I was terrified, I'm not going to lie, because my first had colic and it was really rough. Really rough. So I was obviously nervous and I wanted to prepare as much as possible. I have this other human I have to take care of. It's not just me and a baby. It was me, my husband, my newborn, and my 5-year-old. We were all going to have to navigate this. So for one, I was preparing my 5-year-old, right? Letting her know, hey, mama's going to be really, really busy with the baby. Babies take a lot of work. This is going to be something we're just going to have to work on as a family together. Trying to get her prepared to a point so that way when the time does come and I'm like, hey, honey, I've got to go do this really quick, but your dad's here or whatever. She was like, okay, Mom talked to me about this. This is something that happens. She was kind of aware of what was going to be happening to an extent after the baby was here. And obviously she was in love with him and she wanted to help as much as possible. And it was such a beautiful thing. And I love it. But I'm so kind of glad we're out of that little bit of phase. So the 3 things is fuel, feelings, and function. Just remember the 3 F's and you'll be fine. So when you are prepping for your postpartum phase or your 4th trimester, some people call it, remember that. What you're going to have to eat. You're going to have to fuel your body, whether it's to produce milk if you're breastfeeding. You're going to have to care for yourself. Your body is going to need so much nutrition, very high density, like high nutritious vitamins, all the things, because you just lost a lot of that giving birth. So you're going to need to replenish those. So I was making very hearty meals, right? A lot of potatoes, meats, proteins, like fats, all of those things. I was putting those into soups. I was just prepping as much as I possibly could, especially breakfast. Breakfast has always been a little bit of a crazier time. Kind of see where your crazier times are. Maybe it's in the evening, maybe it's in the morning. It just kind of depends, right? So with a baby, for me, mornings was the crazy time. And so I wanted to make sure that I had breakfast, making sure I was prepping those sandwiches, freezing them, finding quick little meals that I could make that were pretty fast, having fruits prepped, things like that. Obviously, you may not know when you're going to go into birth, and fruits and things like that may not be something you want to prep. But having plenty of frozen fruits for me was a thing because I love smoothie bowls. I wanted to have those on hand, ready to go if I wanted a smoothie. Make a list, make a plan, and you don't have to necessarily go out of your way just to prep these foods. What you could do is make the meals that you normally make throughout the week and double or triple that batch. Pack the rest of it up, throw it in the freezer. I like the bags, like doing it in like frozen or freezer friendly bags, like Ziplocs, and I like putting those in the freezer because it's easier to organize. You can lay them flat, super easy, especially with soups and things. And then it's a bag, so all you really have to do, because it's frozen, just plop it in a thing of boiling water or just a hot water just to loosen it up so you can get it into a pan if you need to, or another dish or bowl, or you get what I'm saying. You can do them in smaller portions, but that way you have dinner already ready and prepped. So if it's spaghetti, for instance, you'd probably just make the meat sauce and all of that, and then the day of, just make your noodles. And noodles take 5-10 minutes to boil. You could have your partner or a loved one even do that for you if you wanted to. But honestly, you could do it yourself. It's so simple. Now let's talk about feelings. We really want to give ourselves so much grace in these first few months after we have a baby. For me, mine was about 2 weeks. I had baby blues really bad with my second, more than I did with my first, I think. But I did have postpartum depression with her, and that was really hard. So in this phase of my life with feelings, I was giving myself a lot of grace, a lot of love, a lot of just letting myself feel whatever I needed to feel. I could feel sad. I was allowed to feel angry. I was allowed to be frustrated. And I was allowed to cry. And I could show that. And I didn't care who saw or what happened, just letting that go. Everyone goes through phases of life to where they are sad, upset, and angry. It is life. So for you to suppress those feelings because you're scared of someone thinking something about you, that is no reason to suppress those feelings. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times and there are places where we can kind of let those out. Obviously, you're not going to take all of your anger out on your children, or you're going to find a more productive and less harmful way to deal with these emotions, some sort of coping mechanism. But as an example, crying isn't going to hurt anybody. Crying is something that if you have children, doing that in front of them, you can explain, hey, mama's just dealing with a lot of really hard feelings, and that's okay. For one, it teaches them compassion. You don't have to let them hold that for you. That's not what you're trying to do. You're just trying to show them that these are normal things, that people do this, not trying to hide it or make it seem like something that's not okay. Showing them explaining to them what's going on, and it's just a really hard time in your life, and mama just has some extra emotions. That's okay. I'm just going to cry it out because that's what my body needs to do. And we're just going to roll with it, right? That's okay. We all have hard days. Life can be full of emotions, good ones, sad ones, angry ones. Like, showing them that you are dealing with your emotions and letting them out is only going to help them be able to do that. So when you are prepping for postpartum, keep that into consideration. Keep that in the back of your mind. What are things that really make you happy? What are things you love to do? Hobbies, things like that. And I know with postpartum depression, hobbies, things you love to do, those can sometimes go out the window. But find those things, make them easily accessible. Put them in a little caddy if it's like an art project or crafting or anything like that. Keep it closer by, depending on where you're at. Keep everything accessible. Books, have a new book ready for you for postpartum, like a push present, That's what I did. Have all of these things ready to go. Make it so easy on yourself for after. And the last one is function. What is going to help everyday life be more functional? This is where the meal prepping can come in. You can hire a cleaning lady if you have the budget for it. What things do you do most of that take up most of your time that you may not have time for after? So cooking is one of them. We've already went over that. Keeping those hobbies, those are things that you may just not have time for, but you need to prioritize. Cleaning is one of them. Like I said, hiring a cleaning lady if you have that type of budget. Maybe having a cleaning list for yourself of the basic things that need to be done. Taking off a lot of the things for cleaning if that's something that you're going to need to prioritize during your postpartum journey. Having lists, little smaller lists cut up, have a little bucket or a box that's right by the door. So if you have friends or loved ones come over and you need some help, you have it already ready. You don't have to think about, what do I need to do? What do I need help with? Just be like, well, here's a little thing. And it'll say like, take one if you want to help me out. And it'll have a few little chores on it. Do something like that. I think that's an amazing idea. I didn't personally do this because the people in my life, this time kind of just did it and they helped me. So I didn't really have to worry about that. But I know that a lot of people don't have that. Or people are like, how can I help? Or what do you need? And you just can't think, you don't know. That could be your partner as well. They ask, they have good intentions by asking, but our mental load is just so like maxed out that we just can't think. And we're like, we don't know. We just want it done. We just know there's a lot to do. We don't know where to start. Normally that's dishes or laundry, but you get what I'm saying. So I hope this helped in some sort of way. I know that it's a journey. It's crazy. It can be distracting and uncomfortable because we're letting other people do stuff for us, but letting go of that and realizing you need the help and that's okay. We have these people in our lives to lean on, to provide us with support when we need it, just like we would do for them. So just know that if you don't have that support system, I want to say I'm sorry, and I hope you do at least one person in your life to help you, whether that's your partner or a loved one, family, friends, whoever. But I am here if you have any questions, if you need anything, any support. I have my messenger group there to kind of just give you like that little extra support throughout the week. Or if you just need a little like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, I don't know what to do type of thing. It is there.